Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to another 3D Hangouts, the last show of 2020. Hello, everybody. My name is Noah Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week is my brother Pedro.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Pedro, Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we're here to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right. This is a show where we combine 3D printing, sometimes woodworking, and DIY electronics to make inspirational projects. Hello, everybody in the chat room. We're hanging out in the Discord chat room. Pedro, shout everybody out while I
hanging out in the Discord and the YouTube chats and the Facebook chats inside of Twitch on Periscope. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us this lovely, cool morning here in beautiful Central Florida.
Did it.
Shout out to everybody hanging out. We got Claude, we got Dave, we got Yannick inside of the YouTube chat and on Discord. We're hanging out as well. Good morning, everybody. Got a packed show today, so let's go ahead and
jump right into it. Yeah,
projects.
We're gonna do a little bit of the show housekeeping in the beginning. We still got some freebie deals going on, of course. So check out adafruit.com/free and see all the different things that you can get. The more money you spend, the more things you get. I won't walk through them all, but they are listed there, and you get a good idea of them. The holiday shipping deadlines we're in the middle of it, if not the last of it. It's here we go. I think it's kind of like the last day for UPS 2-day, like the 2-day shipping, not like today as in the word. But check out adafruit.com/ I think shipping, or it's just at the bottom up here. You can find the blog post for the holiday shipping deadlines. So if you haven't ordered your stuff yet, I think today's the last day, or maybe Friday if you want to do next day air. So check out all the different places, and we also have a nice list for all the folks that are international. So check that out. We do this every year, but every year we definitely got to promote it and show that we have all these dates for folks so that they can get their stuff in time. Anything to add to that, Pedro?
I just posted the link to the blog post that has all of the shipping deadlines, so you guys can check that out. Make sure that you have all those orders in, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
So
it's all safe. We have awesome protocols. Everybody's been safe, and your package should reflect that. So there we go. Got my little banner up there. Okay, real quick. Newsletters happen once a week. If you want to check out the weekly newsletter, it's called the New Newsletter because it's focused on new products. Just go to adafruit.com/newsletter for that one. Then for the dailies, adafruitdaily.com. This is, you have to opt into it if you want. It's not automatically subscribed or anything. So if you don't have an account, try making one and checking it out. Speaking of making an account, if you make your account with Adafruit and you turn on 2F and you secure your account, you can get the 20% off discount. If you have done this already, great. You can use your discount code. If you haven't, we have a Learn Guide that shows you how to set it up. It's pretty simple. Just create your account. It's free to do so, and then activate the two-step stuff, 2F. Is that how you call it? Two-step authentication. So check it out. Lots of cool deals. Yes. CircuitPython meetings happen every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a great opportunity for the devs and the community to come together and say hello and chat about what they're working on, what's happening in the community, and lots of other little segments like that. Okay, just trying to get my things here. All right, and the last message is wear your mask, right? keep wearing your mask. That's our message. Cool. How we doing?
Shout out to everybody.
Do we have audio and all that?
We got DCD, we got Vince, we got Jim Hendrickson, Mr. Certainly Bruce hanging out.
Sweet.
We got Nkit from India. It's nighttime over there.
Sweet. Good evening.
Claude.
All right.
We're a couple of people hanging out. Thank y'all for joining us. Let's go ahead and jump into this week's project. A very awesome example of using Adafruit I/O with the ESP32S2 and using a bunch of Neopixel strips to create a matrix. You can create an outdoor or indoor sign.
Yeah, this is very fun. I got inspired way back when Kattni made her LED wall and she was working on the LED animation library for CircuitPython. So I've always wanted to make a sign that was big, that had a bunch of NeoPixels. So things came together where we're on vacation, we had some wood that we had left over, And we've been slowly kind of working it's slowly working our way towards woodworking, like just building stuff out of wood. We've done a little bit of CNC here and there. We had a miter saw, so having this wood was a really good kind of jumping point to say, hey, let's do this. So I put together a design of this thing in CAD, a couple 3D printed parts, some brackets and whatnot for the frame, and NeoPixels, of course, and it is using Adafruit I/O to pull in data for changing the text and changing the color of the text. So it's a pretty simple I/O project. So over here, we have a really simple dashboard that we created. So in here, you can change the text. So we can say Happy Holidays, for example. I can hit Enter. That'll push that to the feed. And then this guy checks the feed like every so often. And it's not instant, but it changes it for a little bit. It takes maybe a minute or less. Maybe let's change the color while we're at it too. And then if we look at the screen, just give it a moment for it to pull the data, and it'll pull it in. So it is running CircuitPython. The microcontroller here is the Metro, the ESP32S2 version, so it's very new. It's really easy to wire it up, just 3 wired connections for the NeoPixels. We'll walk through it. There's a little bit of a glitching here. The CircuitPython dev team are taking a look at that to get better support for NeoPixels. Right now it's working pretty good, with the exception of like a little glitch here and there, but not too bad. There it is. Happy Holidays. So it's using the NeoPixel FrameBuff library for CircuitPython to get scrolling text. So it's a really easy way to get scrolling text on a custom NeoPixel grid. Also, you can create all sorts of different, there's all sorts of little knobs and things for the NeoPixel FrameBuffer library. So if you have a custom NeoPixel grid and you want to do it in a different way, where maybe it's not a zigzag pattern, or maybe you want to do a certain number of columns and rows, it's really easy to do that in the library. We have a nice Learn guide that walks you through using the library. So that's the demo. Originally, we were going to put it outdoors. We kind of ran out of time to kind of seal the wood and do all this stuff, and maybe not so much a good message to say, hey, come look at my thing outside. So an indoors thing works well too, and I think folks that want to build their own NeoPixel grid can get a kick out of this. It doesn't have to be made out of wood. You can use the 3D printed brackets for the NeoPixels to create your own grid or arrangement of pixels. So that's the quick demo. Let's go look at the Learn guide. Let me do learn.adafruit.com, push that, and then I'll do a green color here. Let's do a green. You can, of course, use if you have a hex value, you can do that. But this works really well on the phone as well. So I have this on my phone as well. So you can load this website on any, because Adafruit I/O, if you have internet anywhere you are, you can pull the site up and change it anywhere you are with a decent, I guess, connection. Can't really see the color there. There it is. I don't think it updated. Let me refresh. Could be Chrome. And it just like went. I just killed it. Let me go back here. I got quite a few dashboards, so there we go. There it is, updated. Learn. So that updated just fine. I had to cache or whatever, but there it is, loading in the screen. So yeah, it seems to be working pretty well. I left it running all night by accident, and it was still chooching all night, so real nice. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Learn guide and see what we can pull out of it. All right, so head on over to learn.adafruit.com. You can pull it up. Overview just walks you through all the parts. Again, the Metro ESP32 isn't necessarily required for this. You could use any number of microcontrollers. You could use a Feather if you wanted to. That's originally what I had. But we really wanted to push the ESP32S2. The Metro has tons of I/O, so if you wanted to add more things to it, it's a good, I think, choice for it. So check it out. It has built-in LiPo things too, so if you want to use a LiPo battery, you can do that. And it also has a big DC jack, so you can give it plenty of power. They're not in stock right now, so you can sign up to get notified when they are back in stock. Now, for the NeoPixels, you could choose any number of NeoPixels. The 3D printed brackets are designed for mini skinny NeoPixels, so just FYI there. The 3D printed brackets are customizable. Like you can change it if you want to in like Fusion 360. You can do that fairly simple, or you can use another CAD package. But for now, it's going to fit this guy out of the box. There are a couple of kind of additional things that could make this weatherproof. For example, we got a cable gland, which is a little kind of nut that's designed to keep moisture and water out of your wired connections. We also have an actual wire that's weatherproof. It has 4 wired connections. For this, we're just using 3, but you could use it for like a USB cable if you wanted to extend it or something. But I figured I'd use it. It works really well, and it makes it easy to disconnect the NeoPixel. So I am using this for disconnecting and connecting the Metro to the NeoPixel grid. So that's a good kind of cable to use if you want some weatherproofing there. And then some other odd ends like a micro USB breakout, some heat set inserts for the 3D printed case, some USB-C breakouts. That's one thing I'll note. Once we get there, it is a USB-C type connector on the Metro, so you might have to adapt it, which I had to do. So I figured I'd throw that USB-C breakout here for folks that want the plug. All right, and then a couple hardware screws and standoffs for the Metro. All right. So let's check out the CAD files. There's lots of them. It's a woodworking project, so we have some plans that you can download. Of course, the source files for the 3D model of the assembly can be downloaded as a step file, which works in lots of different CAD packages. Or if you want to use Fusion 360, that contains the original source, which I made it in. So you have user parameters that you can type in and quickly adjust things like the thickness of the board or maybe the pitch of the pixels. It's really nice. And then, of course, you have the STL files because they are 3D printed brackets. The plans are very simple. They're more of like a one-page like plans. Like it's pretty simple assembly. You just get a list of the boards and their dimensions and a visual screenshot of what they look like. And then the plans are just like, here's the frame, here's the leg frame, put the leg frame in there with leg supports, and then assemble it all. So they're not too complex plans, but we do walk through them step by step in the guide. But you can have these as a visual reference, which I did when I was cutting it and chopping it up. I had this printed out and right next to my miter saw so I could see what the measurements were. So that's available as a PDF, these 2 different PDFs. One is for just the parts measurements, and the other one is for kind of the steps, which is really simple and straightforward. For the 3D printed parts, I just have a screenshot of the 3D models of them. But you can see here we have like 4 corner brackets, 2 brackets for the panel. The panel just rests on these leg frames. And then you have a set 6 of them, 6 NeoPixel holders because they do stagger. And they're pretty much sized for this piece of wood, which is 27 by 16 inches. Why did I remember that? For slicing the parts, I would recommend like grouping all the parts on the bed as you can. Here I'm showing a screenshot of grouping all 6 of the NeoPixel holders so you can print those out in a batch. And if you have another printer, you could print out the corner brackets in another batch. One thing to note, the gasket, the case gasket STL file, that should be printed in NinjaFlex because it's supposed to be like a rubber gasket that seals the cover and the case. You don't need that, I guess, if you want to print just the cover. But I had that extra bit because I can print NinjaFlex, and I have a spool of it, so I can use that. And I was like, playing around with that to make it, to see if it would be more weatherproof, and I think it is. There's also a layer by layer that walks through the CAD, really, like the whole timeline, the sketches, and the user parameters. So if folks want to take a look at that, you can get some insights on how you can quickly change some of those parameters to adjust it if you want to adjust it, like the dimensions at least anyway. So there's that whole CAD files page in a nutshell. Onto the circuit diagram, pretty simple. The circuit, just to kind of keep, for simplicity's sake, I only show 4 strips. There's a total of 12 strips, and it's 12 by 12, 144 pixels. And I purposely went with that because I just had a 5-meter reel of, it's like a full reel of these mini skinny NeoPixels. And they have a bit of a low density, right? So that could be a good thing or a bad thing. For me, it was a good thing because I didn't run into any power issues. I could just power this off of 5 volts, 1 amp power supply. You maybe want to do a 2 amp power supply, but it's running off my USB drive, my USB hub right now. So that's how I'm running it. So I don't need any additional power. So keeping your pixels under 200 or so, if you don't want to have any additional power, that's a good kind of rule of thumb, I think. Yeah. And just 3 wired connections. The data in is going to, what, pin 5 or pin 6? And then I'm using the VHI pin, the high voltage pin, on the Metro, because it gives you a little bit more voltage, and of course the ground pin. And they're all laid out here. And for powering, you want to power the Metro off a, like I said, 5-volt USB power supply, which I'm doing. You do have the option to use like a 3.7-volt LiPo, which we have in the store, or you could use a 5-volt wall, 5-volt power supply that plugs into the wall. So there you go. And the Metro ESP32S2 has built-in recharging over the USB-C port, so you can do that if you want to have a battery and have it solar or something. You can do that too. But that's how I'm powering it, through the USB-C type connector right here on the Metro. Okay, the next page walks you through setting up your Adafruit I/O. So you want to get your Adafruit I/O account set up if you haven't done so. It's a good project, like a first I/O project if you haven't done one yet. Walks you through with screenshots on how to go about making a group, creating feeds, naming them, and thing about the feeds. Just make sure the names are the exact same, because the code reference those feed names. So you just have to make sure that the lower cases are all, the case. What is it called? The case camel? No. What is it called when it's dependent on?
Oh, case sensitive.
Case sensitive. Yeah. Thank you. It is case sensitive, so be sure to copy and paste these. Pretty simple. Sign text and sign color are the names for these feeds. It's going to be, yeah. And then the dashboard, you can create your dashboard and then pull in the feeds. And then we're using a text block and a color picker block. You pick them, you name them, and you can make them whatever size you want after you add them, which is really fun to do. So check it out. That's pretty quick. It's funny because Lamar actually wrote the code for this and just sent it to me. I'm like, how do I make the I/O stuff? I should surely know. So I was able to kind of work my way through it because I've done a few I/O projects now, and it was really easy to do. So that's a testament to how easy it is. All right, next up, when you get your Metro, you're going to want to update CircuitPython. So this walks you through. These are actually mirrored pages from the Learn Guide for the Adafruit Metro ESP32. Every board has its own Learn Guide that has all the data and information you need, all the documentation. This pulls from that and just shows you, hey, here's how you can update the bootloader to install the latest version of CircuitPython. It does ship with CircuitPython. Yes, it does ship with CircuitPython, but you might want to update it because we just updated it. And then this will walk you through installing the UF2 bootloader. So you can walk through that step. And then finally installing CircuitPython's page walks you through that using the ESP tool. A little bit special. I think it's because it's already shipping with CircuitPython, you can just go straight to this step here. And it should load up as a USB drive when you plug it in. So then you can go into the bootloader mode and drag and drop that UF2 file. Cool. And then this kind of walks you through doing some demos if you want to do some internet testing demos with your Metro ESP32S2. This walks you through kind of pulling some stuff. So you can check that out. Here's the code. It's on GitHub. You'll want to grab this extra font. It's just a font that you can grab. It's like a bin font. But that's the font right there that you're looking at. And it's not included with the FrameBuff library, but I think it's from the FrameBuff library, so you can grab that from this link. And then when you have CircuitPython installed on the Metro, you'll want to have these libraries. So once you download the library bundle, you want to pull out just these libraries and put them in the lib folder of your CircuitPy drive. Sometimes the CircuitPy drive doesn't come up as CircuitPy drive. Mine came up as no name, so I guess I could rename it, but it just as a little side note that my CircuitPy drive came up as no name because I guess ESP32S2 is a no name. No, just kidding. And then you can upload your code. So here it is. Shout out to Lamar for putting this together. She commented and it worked out of the box. So shout out to Lamar. And if you want to use like a feather, I think the only thing you need to change is where the pixel pin is being defined. You see where it says board.io6? Well, the Metro ESP32S2 has a little bit different of a configuration when you're pulling pins. So all you need to do to make this work with a feather is change I/O to D. So it would be D6 instead of IO6. And that's all documented in the Learn Guide for the Metro ESP32S2. So that has all the pinouts that are named specially for CircuitPython, so you can check that out. But that's about it. You change that out to D6 and you can run it on the feather, which is what I had originally. Cool. All right, that's a quick look at the code. It's up there right now. Folks can grab it, download it, do PR if you want to improve on it. I'd love to see more knobs and like dials for like triggering animations from the like the LED animation library for CircuitPython. That'd be dope.
And then expanding on it, maybe showing like weather or something like that.
Oh, that would be so great.
Just pulling in some sort of
leather
data.
Yeah, you can also do graphics with the Pixel frame buff library. So you could make little icons and things like that, depending on how big of a display you want to make. You get pretty crazy. So we wanted to keep it simple, and we run out of time here. The year running out, so let's get this out. Here we go. All right, let's walk through the building the wood sign. This page kind of shows you just the text of the dimensions for the boards, and they're all broken out into what it is: the base, the leg frame, the frame of the LED, the leg supports, and the LED panel. So this just walks you through with screenshots of what you want to put together. Probably want to put the bottom base together, and you could just print out that sheet, but I have it here in case folks want to walk through it step by step, and it just walks you through that. The LED panel is a 1/2 inch thick sheet of plywood. So I cut that down to 16 inches by 27 inches. You can, of course, change that as you like. Just note that the LED strip holders are designed for like particularly this low density. And check the CAD file, I guess, if you want to see what the exact pixel pitch is. I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, 12 by 12 fit on this sheet of wood. After installing the strip holders, then we get these corner brackets in there. And the corner brackets just make it so that the frame kind of rests over the LED panel. And then the LED panel has these two 3D printed kind of holders, and it just allows it to hang over that piece of wood on the leg frame. There we go. All right. This page walks you through building the Metro control box, so the enclosure. So these are the two wires that I kind of had to make my own. So we got that cable for the Neopixels. It's a weatherproof cable, and I'm just using some ribbon cable with some header pins. So the Metro ESP32S2 has header pins on it, so the easiest way to solder to them is to just plug in a header. So I soldered some wires to the header, and I just plug them in that way. Yeah, I don't know if you can get the feather without headers, because I would have preferred that. But you can plug them in, you know. Because the case is fully enclosed, you don't have to worry about the pins falling out. They have a pretty nice fitting. But yeah, they do come with headers.
But some of the older Metros, not the ESP32s, did come without female headers attached.
They do. You can get it an optional, so maybe that'll be a thing.
Maybe I'm thinking of the Grand Central.
Yeah, I think the Grand Central. Okay, where's my tab? There it is. So I had to make that cable. Fair enough. USB-C type cable. If you don't have a USB-C cable that you want to DIY, I have a link to Amazon to get these kind of plug connectors for USB-C, and then I basically am converting that into a micro USB-B connector socket, so that I can use my long USB extension cable. So that's why I adapted. But I think folks, depending on what cable you have, what power supply you want to have, you'll want to fashion your own wire for connecting the Metro to power. So that's the way I did it here with some silicone wires. The case is designed for these heat set inserts, so you do have to install them with a soldering iron. You could, of course, build a soldering iron rig, but you don't have to. You could just kind of use the tip of your soldering iron. Just be very careful with it. And you can get those inserts in those holes. There's just 4 of them. And then I'm using brass standoffs to elevate the PCB. So once that's set up, you can just string in kind of needle and thread the USB-C cable and the NeoPixel cable through the cable gland. It's just barely big enough to fit through the cable gland, but it does fit, which is nice because I don't like to kind of feed the wire through and then solder it up because then you won't be able to pull out the cable. But you can, so that's nice. USB-C. This USB-C plug that I used is really, really slim. Doesn't have any of that plastic casing, so it is able to push in and out of the smallest hole, which is nice. So once that's installed into the case and the cable gland, then you can plug in the NeoPixel wire into the header pins of the Metro, and of course plug in that USB-C connector to the power. Cool. So I secure the Metro board to those standoffs with some not hex nuts, with some screws. So we got 8 of these screws because we have 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom, and then the standoffs are 10 millimeters long. They're M3 standoffs, and yeah, you can pick this up from Amazon as well. The cover here, I'm using these thumb screws to secure it, again with that Ninja Flex printed gasket. And a word about why does it look green and it has like this really nice laser cut looking engraving. It's because I CNC milled the cover. Just wanted to be fancy about it. I got some acrylic, I could do that, but I also have an STL to 3D print the thing, which is good, so you could 3D print it too, but I just wanted to make it a little bit better. I wanted to do some sort of milling on here, so that's my fault, sorry. There you go. All right, so once we have our control box, we secure it to the leg frame, wherever you like. I put it right there, so not you don't want it to go too far away, so the leg frame is a good place to secure it with some wood screws. On to building the grid. So cutting up a bunch of NeoPixel strips is fun. It actually is. It's kind of fun. So I count, all of them 12 by 12, make 12 strips. Each strip has 12 LEDs. They got a lot of space in between them. These are mini skinny. Make sure you keep the silicone sheathing fitted over each strip because that helps you with weather support. So just keep that in mind. I'm using flush diagonal cutters, but you could use whatever you like to. And you can, there's markings on the LED strips that tells you where to cut them, so you can use that. So once I cut them all up, I wired them all together in a zigzag pattern because that seemed to be the easiest way to mount them. You can see here in this photo, I have them all bunched together here. Very, very flexible. Definitely recommend using silicone cover stranded core wire because it's both strong and flexible, and you're going to be moving it a lot here to build your grid, so definitely recommend it. Also, of course, don't forget heat shrink tubing. Heat shrink tubing is so essential. So many times that I forget to add the heat shrink before soldering. Every time. It's a meme. So avoid the meme. Yeah. Test fitting the NeoPixels is super important. In this photo, you can actually see I have a dead pixel. Let's click on that photo. Enhance, you can always do that. You can always click on a photo in a Learn Guide. Is it too small? Just click on it. You can see the original size. It's huge. And here you can see this strip right there. There's the culprit. There's not even any physical damage. Like the cap's there. It's been fully encased. Why did this break? That's just the deal, I guess. So definitely want to have some extra strips on hand. Thankfully I did, and I was able to just take out this whole strip section and then just put in a whole new one because I didn't want to go in there and fix that busted LED. So that was my kind of quarrel that I had to figure out, but definitely want to test it before mounting it and stuff. So thoroughly test your pixels. Good way to do so is to use the strand test demo code. So just make all the pixels a solid color, and then you can find out that way if there's any dead pixels in the chain. So yeah. Yep. All right, so to install the NeoPixels into the holders, kind of jumped ahead here, but it's just a good way to visually show the NeoPixels. That's why I have them already pre-installed here. But they get press-fitted through the little clips. The little clips have a tight fitting, so the silicone will act as a bit of a grip to those clips, so it stays taut. So it's really nice. So you can kind of still take them out, but like keep them taut by just kind of pressing the silicone through the little clips. So just repeat that for all of them, and the the 3D printed holders themselves are secured to the wood with some screws. They have screw holes in them. They have these little kind of mitered edges so that they can stack and stagger on top of each other, so they can be chained infinitely. And to line them up, you can just straight edge it with the edge of the wood because it's designed to fit that wood. What else can I say about it? I did have to like trim the edge of the clip, the ends of the holders, because like the frame just barely fit in it, so I had to kind of cut it a little bit. So you might have to do that depending on how you aligned your strips, because you can align it with the edge, but to line the whole thing could be somewhat of a challenge. So maybe measure it. Yeah. But yeah, this was a fun photo to get, like just on the floor right here. It's such a big thing. So how do I photo that? All right, and then the last page talks about the usage, which I already walked through, like updating the text and updating the color. But that's the guide in a nutshell. I'd love to do a version 2 where it has more interactivity. Maybe it's a bit of a game or something, or it has some sort of sensor input. That'd be super dope. But as a first starter, I think this is a good start and a great way to end the year. Picking up a new skill and doing some IoT stuff.
Yeah, long skill process in the making. Started off with, like you said, just a little CNC with a little tiny other mill, and then just growing that in scale. Tinkering Tech was asking how large a sign can you make with those, and I'm just saying that the only limit here is going to be the power and the size of your material and the memory in terms of powering all those and getting all the LEDs to light up.
There's a great learn guide on like a NeoPixel curtain. Oh yeah. And this just shows
how
you can yeah.
Is that it right there? 1,500 NeoPixel LED curtain with Raspberry Pi and fade candy.
Yes. If I could click on it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, broke it.
UI issues here.
Yeah, it looks like it broke.
Inspect and then delete that whole window there.
Yeah, I'm trying. There we go.
And then Mr. Certainly Bruce was saying that just be careful when you are setting up the board, as the pin label D20 is really a dice roll using it.
Yeah, you definitely want to be careful. Reference the pinouts in the learn guide for the ESP32S2. And yeah, it's a nice pinout, so you can check that out and ensure that you're hitting the right pin and you're labeling it correctly. So this learn guide from Phil B uses a Raspberry Pi and fade candy. That's the name of the board to power this. So this is a good guide on how many power supplies, how to do the math to calculate, you know, how much amperages you're going to wow, I only had 25 amp fuse. Whew. It's a scary. This is like super scary.
Need some thick wires.
I think there's a Neopixel 8, right? Pixel 8. Is that right? There's a board dedicated for 8 channels of pixels. I can't seem to remember the name of it.
I think it is Neopixel 8.
Yeah, but I just can't find it. Maybe try shop. Neopixel 8 channel. I know you exist, but I can't find you. I can't find it, folks. Sorry. Is it like Neo Matrix or something? Like some fun name? No.
Can't see either.
Typed in dragon. I typed in dragon and it showed up.
Wow.
That's awesome. NeoPixel LED.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Some funkin' names.
Yeah, funkin' names. Well, this is it.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, too, when you were setting up the USB power, I would want to go with Ethernet cables for making such a long connection for it. Otherwise, unplug and use a shorter USB when programming the ESP32.
Yes, I did fall into a issue when I was programming. So if you have your NeoPixel brightness set to like more than 6, like 0.6, 0.7, it draws so much power that when you try to load the Metro as a USB drive, it just won't load as a USB drive because it's trying to take too much power from your USB hub. So what I ended up doing is just literally disconnecting the NeoPixel cable. That way it wasn't getting all that power from my USB drive, and then the CircuitPy drive started loading. So that's a little tip there on how I fix that. Drawing too much power.
Tinkering Tech says, dang, that's scary, 25 amps.
It is scary, yeah.
Elwood is saying, I would assume that you could vary the background to a flat black to a semi-gloss paint to get a glowing effect. Yeah,
I'd
so
love
this,
to do that.
You can still take this off.
Yeah, so this comes off like that. And those are the brackets, so you can take that off.
And then you could still fit some background behind these strips.
Yeah, we can. Everything is modular, so we just unscrew all of these brackets, and then you have this piece of wood here that you can change. Yeah, totally would make it black, and then maybe theme out the frame.
You have some snaps of the build too that shows how everything comes off.
Yeah.
Don't want to do it now.
Don't want to do it now.
Let's show a video of it. If you let's see, yep, we have time. Let's show that off. One of the things that one of the worries that I had when I started building this, I was like, man, we got to make this modular so once the holidays are over, we don't have this giant sign that we can't store anywhere. That's what had the idea to do the brackets of that, so everything can be broken down nice and neat and stored away for additional.
You might want to like note which side goes up. I have this. This is my indicator. This little knot here. So that's why it wasn't fitting. I was like, why doesn't it fit anymore?
And some of the side stories too on where we actually got this material. We were throwing away one of our old beds.
A bed, yeah, an IKEA bed. It had some really nice slats, so we had 2 of them. So we figured let's hang on to them. So we were able to build the sign and a faux fireplace, which is really cool. I didn't kind of make it as a learn guide or anything, but
maybe next year.
Maybe
it was
next
definitely
year.
a lot more better than past fireplaces that we made,
Had a
like
cardboard.
the Grinch one that we made out of cardboard
and whatnot.
That will definitely be updated for next year, or probably later, in the month or something, since these woodworking projects were so fun to work on. Now that we have space, we have all the tools and the way to make the plans, since that was a huge part of this, being able to make all those plans inside of Fusion.
Right. Yeah, and making it so it's scalable, because as we were building it, you measure your boards, and they're not exactly half an inch or whatever you think they are.
Able to improvise right on the spot because you had all those printouts, which, I don't know if you went into too much detail on that, being able to print all of the instructions and the sizes for all of the parts.
Yep.
So definitely a huge help on that.
Yeah, I use these Snapchat glasses here to document the assembly, so that was really nice to kind of see what I did wrong. So, you gain experience on it. I didn't make pilot holes, so the screws came in crooked. So lesson learned there.
And then even like the drill bit that we're using wasn't, was the fatter one than the screws.
So it's a good insight, I think, to document what you're doing. There I messed up didn't clamp that other piece of wood down, so then I had to pull this out, which was fun. Yeah, the miter edge is there. Since then, I've gotten like a nice guide for my saw, my circular saw. I got like that clamp for making like framed boxes like that, so it's got the rope and the ratchet thing, so I can make better things. And I should have used wood glue there, but I didn't. So there you go.
Yep, we will keep on improving on this as we dive into some more woodworking projects.
Yeah. The last thing I'll share is this.
This is for Tinkering Tech here, who's asking about how big we can make these. The brackets to hold all the strips are all parametric.
Yeah, they're parametric, which makes it really nice to build a custom display. So unfortunately, the tech drawings for NeoPixel strips are a dime. Like we don't have any good ones. So you're gonna have to measure your own stuff. So having this set up in CAD was so essential, because now I can really get a visual. What's my pixel pitch? How many pixels can I fit in this this piece of wood here? And making the design adapt with it was a nice challenge. I might rework this so that it's instead of going top to bottom, it's going left to right, because I think going left to right would work for something that let's say you want to do a 16 by 32 pixel, you don't want to have 32, strips. You'd rather have 16 strips going across 32. So this bracket wouldn't quite work for that. So I might rework it in the future. But the source is out there, so if folks want to have at it, totally can.
Yeah, it looks like there's some interest in that as well. So definitely check it out. We will revisit these.
Yeah.
And we got some suggestions, some, what's it called?
Shouts, suggestions, kudos?
Kudos. Charles Brandon Ford is saying, yeah, do the fireplace as a winter project. So yeah, you're right. It's still cold up until around past February. So yeah, maybe we'll do it a couple weeks.
Oh, I see.
Because it's so cool.
In
You can still theme it out. It doesn't have to be for the holidays.
That's true. Yeah.
Have the nice Neopixel bar.
It could go with like the weather, like if it's.
Yeah, the original plan was to have pretty much similar to the wreath project that Kattni did with the mag tag. So I'm sure there'll be more mag tag requests for that. Yeah.
Like triggers smoke and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or smells. Triggers smells.
I like smoke and smells. Yeah.
Yeah. Could rework the Grinch into that somehow. He comes out. Right.
Definitely got to redo that.
Cut the Grinch out of wood.
Jim Henderson is saying, great search with no M. Pedro.
The great search. Yes, I found it. I literally typed in dragon. Because Phil B is a dragon. And
it's so funny.
His name transcends.
I don't think that would work on DigiKey, but yeah. It works on Adafruit search.
That's so fun.
And then Charles Benford is also saying that you can use a car battery with a buck converter or a deep discharge motorcycle battery as a NeoPixel supply. Wow.
That's a good idea.
We do have I don't know what the charge is with the car battery was here when we bought the house, so that's something we can use for it.
Yeah, we also have like a battery jump start thing.
And I guess it's time to move on to what are we prototyping, because Wahoo 007 is asking about the Darksaber. So
excellent. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump into what are we prototyping, and yeah, the acrylic parts arrived.
Yeah, let's take a look at the hilt.
A day or two ago.
So here's the hilt. Super excited about it. All 3D printed. Just a couple screws to put it together. Not too bad. I just got this black RGB button. It's not wired yet, but it fits nicely. So let's take a look at the hilt. This is the pommel, so it's removable, comes out. And I needed to make some custom brackets for our electronics. Let's take a look at the main one here. Now before, with the prop maker, you needed a feather M4 and a prop maker feather wing, so you had to stack those on top. This is the feather Scent. It has the BLE chip, that's the NRF 52840 chip.
Point with this.
Yeah. It has a built-in accelerometer. It has a built-in microphone, light sensor, NeoPixel, all the things you need to make an awesome prop, right? Bluetooth connectivity, that's great. LiPo charging right on there. So it fits perfectly in this little weird 3D printed, what do you call it?
It's like a holder.
Holder mount, yeah. And this is the stemma speaker. So it has the built-in amplifier, and it's a fairly nice speaker. How it sounds in here is yet to be determined, but we'll see. The battery, this is a 2200 battery. Same style of like bracket, so it fits all in here. So for the order, I think the order is going to be like this. I'll have the battery come in first, so that slides in there, and then we have the stemma speaker that slides in there as well. There's a connector on it, the JST connector, so it should be pretty easy to plug and play that. And I think I messed it up already. Let me pull that out. Okay. Let me try that again. So this goes in all the way, then the speaker. All right, now I can feel that felt right. And then this comes in at the end there, because you want to have access to that USB-C or that USB port. So this has a special lip there, so it can't fit all the way in, and it has a little lip there, so you can still pull it out. So I kind of like that the tolerances are not too tight and not too loose. It's always hard to find that middle ground. And then this just press fits in there. It stays locked in there. So hopefully with everything wired up, it won't be too challenging to connect things, because I have the plan to use the stemma cables, so I can disconnect things from the top. I don't have a screwdriver on me right now, but this screw comes out, and then this pulls out easily, and then there's plenty of room in there to get to the wiring for this guy. So that's how the order will be. So that's the handle. Got to wire stuff up. Fits good in the handle, in the hand. So then let's look at the blade. So the blade is laser cut acrylic out of acrylic. So the acrylic here is a 1/4 inch thick, and then this is a 1/16 inch thick black shiny, what do you call it? Acrylic. So let's take a look at the fitting. I had to rework the emitter so it would fit, but we have a bit of a tang right here. It's not glued yet, so you know, it's still floppy and stuff, but I did have to sand this down, so I sanded that down all day yesterday. Don't tell me about it. And then this blade emitter has a little slot there for the sandwiched thing. So it's got a bit of a loose fit, fits in like that. There's an extra hole here for a set screw, so we'll have that in there. But that's kind of the scale of it. So let's take a look at it in the overhead, or in the big thing here. So this is the length of it,
so
670 millimeters. I don't know how many inches that is, sorry. But yeah, that's the build. It's quite fun.
So cool.
So I can't wait to light it up. I might have to redo these parts a little bit because I plan to fit the strip in a better way. Now that I have these on hand, I can kind of better plan out how the strips will be. But that's it for now. I get to work on this on vacation, which is super fun. So I'm excited about it. I'm glad folks are digging it. And there's a couple builds out there from folks, like Bob Claggett made one a year ago. Odin Makes made a really nice one. So I've been looking at everybody's builds and pulling out what kind of techniques I'd like to do. So if we want to look inside the blade, let's go ahead and do that. Just to show, and I'll talk about who laser cut it too in just a second. But let's take a look at this. So this is kind of the core of the blade, or the outline, and this is like a core. So what I'm going to plan to do is kind of shave this off so that I can stick the NeoPixels on this edge, and then this can fit inside here and have the exact same fitting. So just imagine a NeoPixel sandwiched in between these two pieces of acrylic, and then this will fit over. I got some acrylic glue on the way, which is a special type of adhesive made for acrylic so it doesn't haze and all that. And then I'll have to use a lot of glue, which is fine. And I think the NeoPixels will be embedded in there forever, but that's fine. The NeoPixels, we're using ultra mini skinny. I know these are mini skinny, but we have ultra mini skinny, which feature, like the Flex PCB is literally the perfect thickness of this. So this is how thick the mini skinnies are, ultra mini skinny. And the NeoPixels size is a 1515. So that's the NeoPixels that are on like an itsy bitsy. But yeah, this is really floppy. But this one's less floppy because it's a 1/4 inch thick. All right, so Panoco is the name of the laser cutting service, and they are awesome. They have a really great choice of material, lots of acrylic, some Durin, what's it called? Durin, MDF, wood, that sort of thing. You can upload an SVG file or a DXF file, a laser cut file, and then run through their website. It's a really clean website. It works well. I was able to change my order right after I placed it because like I messed up on the thickness, the material thickness, and I was able to change my order and get it a day early, which is bananas. So the turnaround is pretty awesome from them. The prices, depending on how big your thing is, it's gonna go up. But for me, I'm putting the price in, you know, I'm paying the extra. But yeah, great service, Panoco. They also have some holiday order deadlines, of course, and I was able to get it. So shout out to Panoco for doing a great service. So if you ever got a big laser cut piece and you want it in some special material, this is how big it can be: 31 inches long by 15 inches wide.
Got some conversions here in the chat.
Yes.
Connor is saying that 670 millimeters is 26.4 inches.
Yeah.
But Andy Calloway says it's about 28 inches.
Yeah.
That's in that area.
Oh, the numbers, right? 670 millimeters to inch. Yeah, 26.3 is what the calculator's saying.
38, I mean, you rounded it off, 0.4.
26 inch, yeah.
There is a 0.2 millimeter
Offset.
tolerance.
Yeah, for the handle, I think it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more extreme. It's like 0.6 because the orientation of the print, like it has some overhang. The way I print it is like flat, so this roof here has a little bit of that extra overhang. So it's actually 0.6 offset for this guy to these walls here. So that's a good little kind of note. But yeah, man, lots of sanding on this. I was like the whole day was sanding. But I don't plan to sand this. This is already black. It looks fine. I might paint it. I don't know. I don't like the paint. Sorry. All right, but that's the Darksaber. What you looking at?
Connor is saying that it's 24 or 25.4 millimeters equal an inch.
Yeah,
that's nice.
That's right.
Number to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Certainly Bruce is asking for the link for Pinocchio.
Yeah, check it out.
There it is. You can see the materials there.
Yeah, their website's a little weird at first. Just go to /designs and it takes you right to their upload thing. It says their stuff's secure, like, so don't worry about like your artwork being stolen or whatever. Like, apparently their client list is Apple. Like Apple uses them to laser cut their shit, so that's cool.
And then Vince is asking, could they maybe be fasteners instead of glue to hold the sandwich of acrylic parts together?
I mean, you would see it, right? I think you would see it. I definitely think you need to weld it with the glue because then it'll keep the, it'll keep it super, not seamless, but I don't know if the look of screws are going to look fine.
And then we have a rebuttal on even using the acrylic from Drowning Pool 10, saying...
Don't use acrylic?
Yeah, how about the transparent PLA like you did the Guardian and Master Swords? Yeah.
Man, I wish we had that the Naomi
belt
printer. Yeah, the belt printer.
That was just funny
That'd be
since
great.
the blade part is the only thing that we would need that for. We do have the CR10, so maybe we could print one out just to see the difference
I think so.
on it.
Yeah, we should try
I think we're going to have to.
Yeah, we're going to have to try it. Yeah. That'd be so much more better because I could like print it as many times as I need to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely cheaper. It's just time and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's just something about like laser cut
really
acrylic
good.
that just is so clean. It doesn't look like this out of the box because I had to sand this. Like that's why it looks frosted because I sanded it. They didn't have a frosted acrylic material in this thickness.
Mm-hmm.
Another choice is polycarbonate, which is what Odin used. It's thicker material and it's less rigid, I think, and it's stronger. It's more impact resistant than acrylic. Acrylic will shatter under the stress, but polycarbonate's a good. Polycarbonate is also what's made out of those lightsaber blades. Like just polycarbonate's like the material to use. So I don't plan to battle with this thing. I just plan to have it be a real nice prop that you can swing around. Pretty good.
Another suggestion from Andres, who's saying, what about magnets on the black part and in the acrylic? So we can have magnets hold that together. Maybe just glue on the magnets on one side.
Yeah.
And then the core have the opposite magnet on there, or some metal.
I don't plan to make this like to service the blade too much. So maybe I like the idea of having it be modular, but I think about the lightsaber blade and like I never take that apart. It's always like the blade as a whole thing that can come off. So the more fasteners and points that you have, the more it can fall apart, I think. So having a really solid and welded together might be the way that I will go. Yeah. But I like the suggestions. They're always good
Vince
to kind of think about.
Has his votes in for the magnet. I think I have my vote in for the 3D printing it.
Yeah, I know. Like I want to print it too. Like I can.
We should, just so we can get the sizes.
Yeah,
and all that
so folks can print it if they want to print it. Maybe I'll like send this to Naomi. Like, hey, print this.
Yep, we have more comments on that. It's time to invest in a new printer. Yeah, Lamar said to go ahead and get one when they are available.
Yeah, when they're available. Cool. This is a great discussion. I like the back and forth, everybody.
It's a good point there. If the NeoPixels die out, then you gotta throw the whole thing away.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. Oh man. And then real quick, I guess for the NeoPixels, let's go ahead and search for Ultra Mini.
Should have grabbed it from the other room so you could
Oh no,
check out
they
the
don't
sale.
show up.
Let me just go grab them.
Thanks. So I can get the, there they are. Yeah, ultra skinny NeoPixels. And, they are definitely the smallest strips you can get. They are very small.
So small, in fact, that
Yeah, let's compare
the
them.
pads for the power is actually on the back of them. And here's a nice little size comparison.
Yeah,
It's like half the size.
yeah. So as I was playing with different strips, it just wasn't pulling enough light. These are the mini skinny. So if you thought mini skinny was skinny, these are even skinnier.
No, they
You
look
can't
like
even
regular
see
sized ones
you
to
can't
me
even
now.
see them.
And here's what I was talking about before, the power. Oh, can't even see it. There is adhesive on the back here, so it makes it a little bit easier to glue together. And they're literally right on top of each other, the power and then the ground and the data right on top. So a little tricky to solder.
Right.
It's gonna be super careful, but it can be done.
So the idea is to use that adhesive and glue it to that inner core edge. So I'll end up with 2 strips. But you can see how perfect that it like is the thickness of this core. So if it was inside of the little outline, then it would house it really well, I think. So that's the idea there. So it would be 1 strip there pointing outwards, and then another strip here pointing outwards, and then I'll share the data. And I guess just for kicks, let's go ahead and turn it on and see if it starts glitching or whatever, but it's just white right now. It's gonna be super bright though in the camera.
Yes, we are going
It's
to
gonna be hard to-
daisy chain.
to
They
do
are
this.
only half a meter long.
Yeah, you don't have to daisy chain them. So that'll be exciting. And a little bit tricky to work with these pixels, but it's the smallest one I could find, so. There you go. There's a little look of it, the light, so.
Andy Calloway is saying, wouldn't the side emitting strips be better?
Yes, they would, but
the size.
the size of them, yeah. Yep, it just doesn't quite curve right here at the tip, so you'll have like this spot where it just doesn't. But because of these strips, like can be on the edge, they can go all the way to the tip here, pointing this way. It's hard to work with this. It's all floppy, but that's the idea. You know, obviously this would be going the other way, going that way. Yeah.
And Andres
There you
is
go.
saying you can get the frosty look of the outer part with transparent PLA filaments. Yes,
Yeah.
you can.
Yes, you totally can. You could sand it too, so you can totally do it.
I think it's either blue tape or the PEI that makes it look nice and frosted. Printing on a glass bed will give it a nice shiny, glossy look that you can still sand down if you need to make it frosty later on.
Cool. Yeah, I got time too to think about all these and consider all the different blade things.
Yep, lots of
So
playing around
I'll
with all
probably-
the different strips.
I'll
and
probably
the
go with this
sizes
version,
and-
but I have another set of parts, and I'll play around with that too. So that is the idea. Sweet. Thanks,
of course,
folks. It was
Mr.
awesome.
Certainly saying that this is the way.
Yeah.
We need to have a custom emoji in the Discord that has a Mando helmet. I thought I saw one in there.
Right. There's no Yoda.
Or a baby, or a Grogu, baby Yoda
Yeah.
emoji.
All right. Well, we're over time now. We're gonna run through the rest of the show. Paige just got another thing. We'll have to save
last
for-
thing, you're not going to seal up the feather that'll be on the
No,
back.
that's
the
designed to come out.
That'll be able to come out, so you
Yeah.
can recharge
All
the battery
of the
that
handle
way.
stuff is easy to take out.
Yeah, it's the blade part that you're looking at.
Yeah, the blade part will
Sealing
be
up.
kind of sealed up. Yep.
Yeah, we'll try all the different suggestions you guys have listed here.
Awesome.
Thanks. This definitely makes working on these long-term projects a little bit more easier, getting more ideas for different things to try out.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's run through the last stuff of the show. We're almost
Yeah.
at the finish line. We have some community makes this week. Time lapse of.
Yeah, this was a suggestion
Krampus.
from.
Not that.
Oh.
That's for after the show.
I don't know what that was.
That's a fail. Your moment of fail.
I can't remember what it was supposed to be. This is a Krampus bell from the movie Krampus.
Oh, I haven't seen the movie Krampus.
Yeah, I don't recall.
I'm sorry, we call it Crump, but it's Cramp.
Krampus, sorry, Krampus. So this is a two-piece bell from the movie. It's like they had some modeling on it and did a little emboss on there. Von Krampus. It would probably come out good with like metal filaments. It comes apart. And there's actually a little thing here that you can attach the little ringer, but it broke off in both of my models. And it doesn't snap fit. I did have to end up gluing the one that we used for the video.
It's a bigger one.
But you can print it. I think it's a 150 scale on this one. And yeah, it's a nice little ornament.
Yep.
For the Krampus
this
type
was
of year we've had so far.
Sort of a request. It's from PT sent this over, and we're like, yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah, we posted this on the blog last week.
This is for you.
We are a Dragon Krampus friendly company, so of course we got to print this out.
Yeah.
And there, at that third photo, you can see like the little ringer holder part.
Yeah,
that part there that broke off. You can attach, I guess, like some sort of ringer if you print it in metal, or if you're using like, I don't think it would work with like the bronze PLA.
Okay.
A cool, nice little ornament.
For the goth within.
For the goth within.
Great job, PT. Keeping it weird. All right, we got another cool make. This is from last week's project. David Glaude did a PR on the project Liz put together, the code for this one. I did a 3D printed stand and a bitmap, but it's good to see a project get like more features. So this one has random kind of colored balls for the little baubles here, so it looks really cute. So the PR was approved, so you can check it out on GitHub if you did make this project for your mag tag. It's a real nice one too, and a good look at how to use random and how to do stuff in display I/O for CircuitPython. So sweet. Thank you, David Glaude, for your contributions. And then the last thing is a make posted on the Prusa Printers site. I don't see many makes posted on here, but Prusa Printers is like Thingiverse. Though it's, has less issues maybe. So Extra Fox posted their make of our retro weather station, also a collab project with Liz. It's a very, very fun project. I haven't really done anything with the code yet. Printing assembly work, a hoot. Love it. This was one of my favorite ones too. Great design, easy to put together, that sort of thing. Hoo-wee, that thing startled the bejesus out of me. The speaker's loud. It scared him.
It's pretty loud.
Bonk.
We got DIY Brit Smith asking about the acrylic adhesive.
Yeah, it's
this one here.
Weld-On for acrylic adhesive. Yeah, and it's got like a needle and stuff. I was able to find. I just looked at Bob. He linked to it. Yeah.
Let's see, going through the rest of the comments. I think that's it.
Yeah, we wanted to spend a little bit extra time with you folks. This is the last show of the year. We're going to take the next 2 weeks off of 3D Hangouts. We will still be cranking on this
project still coming out.
On and off. I'm not going to go too crazy on it. I'm going to do it at my own leisure and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's cool. All right. Well, we're going to go on the show and tell later tonight. You got Ask an Engineer and then show and tell. Flip that. You got show and tell and then Ask an Engineer. So we definitely invite you to come on. It's going to be a good time for folks. I'm hoping to whole packed house maybe.
More progress on all the projects we're working on. So even if there's no 3D Hangouts, there'll still be projects and we'll be on the show and tell.
Yeah.
So it always catches there.
Yep. 7:30.
And definitely join us. Show off some of the cool stuff you guys are working on. Progress on projects or old tech, vintage designs, or a tour of your workspace, stuff your kids are working on. Always welcome.
Yeah.
Check it out.
So check it out. The invite link to the StreamYard gets posted in the Discord chat room, so be sure you're part of it.
It's at discord.gg/Adafruit.
Yeah.
And join there.
Sweet. And then Tomorrow we got shows as well, so I'll try to do these. So Jump Park, we'll be doing Jump Park's workshop, of course, every Thursday at 4 p.m. And then shortly after, I think Scott's going to come on. Normally Scott goes on Friday, but because there's some holidays and stuff, he's going to do it Thursday, I think. So check him out at 2 p.m. PT time on Thursday. Or maybe not, because they might come in. We'll see. Keep your eye out.
Yeah, for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be weird with Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
All coming up.
Earlier,
and then whatever happens with pandemic stuff too. Shutdowns looks like there's winter coming down.
Winter storms on New York today.
Let's see how that all shakes out.
Yeah, shapes up.
And then one last thing before we go, DIY Brit Smith is asking for a Fusion tutorial on creating horizontal oriented LED strips.
That's exactly what I was planning to do, so that's awesome. It's coming. I'm baking it in the head here. Because I need to do it, so I might as well document doing it and stepping through it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, awesome.
Before Friday.
Yeah, I think so.
Not early in the week, next week.
Yeah. All right.
Make sure to subscribe, turn on that bell so you can see all the projects and videos are posted.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff happening every single week. Tons of shows, as we're right in the middle of actually showing you.
Yeah.
Lady Ada happens on Sundays. I think it's solidified now.
She said
10 p.m.
No, she said 8 to 10.
8 to 10.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Dinner comes, when they got it. So yeah, it was a good one this week. USB Type A connectors and all the different variants of. So very insightful. Mm-hmm. Great time with Lamar.
Yep.
And then
make sure that they are mechanically strengthened.
All these little gotchas and stuff too. And she's got lots of experience on it. JP's up on Tuesdays. He did one this Tuesday, yesterday. And it happens every 1 p.m. Pacific time or 4 p.m. Eastern time. So you can check them out.
Tune in live during JP's Product Pick of the Week.
For crazy discounts.
Crazy discounts live only while he's streaming, so definitely don't miss those out every single week.
Yep. We do the show every Wednesday. We're out next week and the following week, but we'll be back on January 6th or something?
Yeah.
Something like that. They're just pulling up sometime in January. But we'll be, of course, around in the show and tells. Yeah.
And DCB is saying that, yep, Scott will be on Thursday.
Excellent. Sweet, we did it. We made it.
Another year. I think the upcoming projects is going to be the LED puck, which we didn't even talk about, but it's nice and simple little
hockey season.
Hockey for indoor playing. And then
sounds terrible. Like a glass broken.
And then the year-end project wrap-up.
Right, we'll do a nice
project for 2020.
Yeah, 2020 wrap-up video.
But until then, later tonight.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later tonight. Stay safe out there, everybody. Don't forget, we're trying to get through this thing. We'll fight it together as we do.
And social distance.
Remember to make a great day, folks. Bye, everybody.
See you later tonight.